Hey, what's up, everyone, and what are we betting today? So, I am done over at the Luxor and the Esports Arena for the World Poker Tour for the time being. We've actually got a WPT coming up down the road at the Venetian starting March 22nd, if memory serves. That's the main event, plus they got a whole bunch of preliminaries going on there. But for the time being, I am playing the Win Poker Rooms $1,600 million guarantee main event. That started up yesterday. I played one bullet, and to be honest, I got it in bad. I did not play that hand so good, guys. The hand went down. I wish I had the graphics, but basically a guy limped who had been limping a lot, and I raised pocket eights with about 40 blinds, and he moved all in on me, and I called, and he just had the aces. And everybody I ran it by was like, "Yeah, why'd you call? Like, why'd you call?" Just thought he would have a lot of ace king and ace queen, I guess, but oops. Yeah, so yesterday I could tell, after filming for a few days in a row over at the Luxor, that I was not sharp on the table. I was not really paying attention outside of hands. I was in my phone a lot. I was just kind of looking for reasons to be distracted, which I will admit on day ones is not that rare, but I've been able to bring a higher level of focus lately that I definitely did not have yesterday, and so I made a pretty bad mental error there that led to donking off my stack. So, not the end of the world, and certainly not the worst hand that I've ever played, but I'll be back there today. I'm just going to head over as soon as I'm done talking to you guys and get right back to it. And there's this 1C tomorrow. So, however this turns out, I like my chances of at least getting through to day 2 on Sunday, considering it's like unlimited reentry on 3 days of registration with what was actually a really good field. Like at the start, you looked around the room, you're like, wow, this is an awesome field. By the time I got knocked out just before dinner break, it was starting to get pretty pretty pro heavy, but a lot of those players will have gotten through yesterday, and then today and going into the weekend, we'll pick up more and more recreational players, and more regs will have gotten through, so I expect the field to be great today and extra good tomorrow, but hopefully I don't have to go play, and I can just do whatever on the strip tomorrow on a Saturday, maybe play some cash, maybe try and have a social life, my God, maybe. And then Sunday, of course, if we make day 2 and it goes wrong, we have online poker. I'm kind of concerned about online poker right now because this reinterpretation of the Wire Act that the Department of Justice issued recently with some very shady motivations potentially, it threatens to throw a wrench in what a lot of us are enjoying in the shared player pool experience of online poker in the United States right now. So this reinterpretation of the Wire Act basically would say it is not okay for there to be intrastate wagering going on. And so New Jersey and Nevada and any of these other states that are going to come online with sports betting and online poker and online gambling cannot share player pools, cannot share liquidity. And so that goes into effect in mid-June. And the World Series right now is kind of scrambling to figure out, can we offer tournaments that will be shared between our player pools in New Jersey and Nevada, or do we have to make these World Series online events strictly for Nevada players and anticipate there will be enough players in Las Vegas during the World Series that will be able to meet our guarantees and everything. So that's kind of a scary position for them to be put in, and it's a scary position for the entire industry to be put in because we were just starting to gain momentum by having more states come online and having the Supreme Court issue the I don't know what the statement or the decree or whatever that is that the Supreme Court issues exactly the judgment that more states were allowed to legalize sports betting and therefore could join the player pool. So it's kind of disappointing that that's what we're facing right now. I've been reconsidering my living situation lately. So for the 4-ish years leading up to moving here at Panorama, I was a very fancy kind of homeless where I would just travel around in one big suitcase and a carry-on, staying with friends, sometimes in a spare room or a couch, staying in Airbnbs, staying in hotels, doing work events, going to poker tournaments, staying with my family, dropping in on random friends that I've made, throughout the course of my life. And I kept that up for a while, and it was a lot of fun, but also very tiring because you're constantly changing time zones, and that starts to wear you down. Plus, the social connections that you make feel very temporary and ephemeral because you're just always leaving. Just wherever you are, you're always leaving or about to leave. So that started to wear on me, and then I moved back here to Vegas after the summer thinking wow, cash games are great this summer. Like maybe they're okay during the year. I remember back when I lived here in like 2013, 2014, cash games were okay during the year, but they're just really not here in Las Vegas, as certainly as compared to some other places like South Florida or California, or just like, I guess Wynn's going to open a property in the heart of Boston that should probably be an awesome cash game spot after it opens for the following months. And, maybe I'll spend some time there when it opens up, and I want to say fall of this year. But I'm starting to think that ideally I would not have a real like full-blown apartment. This is nice and everything, but kind of redundant in Las Vegas. And I've been talking to people who have been like looking at buying houses here to see if I could just like have a room in their house, and pay them half of what you would normally get in rent, but then I would only be there a few months of the year, mostly the World Series and some other, WPT related work stuff. And would have a place that I could go if it was cold and I had nowhere else to be in the rest of the world, but otherwise would prefer not to be most of the year. I don't mind Vegas. I like it in many ways. I don't really love it though. Being around the culture of people just coming here to get wasted, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like if you're around the Strip a lot, you spend a lot of time being around people at kind of like their worst selves, which is, I don't mean that as like a judgment that there's anything wrong in coming here to Vegas and getting fucked up and, going partying and everything. It's just weird to be around that all the time. It gets a little old. So I'm looking forward to maybe spending time in some other places. And also, just like I said, outside of the weekends, like the poker here, and this time of year is sweet. Don't get me wrong. With the tournaments going on, and then the World Series, there's plenty of poker in Vegas, but for a good 6 to 9 months of the year, the poker here is just really not that good and that worthwhile as compared to a lot of places. So my lease is up here in August, and at that point, I would think I'll probably go over to Barcelona actually for the EPT that's going to be happening there, and then the WPT has their cruise leaving from Barcelona just like the day of the final table of the main event. So if I final table the main event of the EPT there, I'll join the cruise in a couple days with a lot more money. And if not, I'll get on the cruise and really enjoy that experience because they're going to some awesome ports. I don't know if any of you guys are cruisers, but if you ever want an excuse to see a lot of different spots in the Mediterranean and play some poker, the WPT cruise should be a good one. And then I'd come back and probably play the Borgata tournament. So yeah, even, I've managed to forecast the next couple of months of playing tournaments, but really this whole year, I think I can probably fill up with tournaments and take it seriously and stop donking off my 40 big blind stack, calling off 8s against aces and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like I've been playing pretty well, pretty patiently lately. That hand was not encouraging. But when I've been playing online, I've been feeling good about the level of attention that I'm giving that. And this 1600 will be a good prep for the WPT 3500 Venetian. I felt really good about the level of attention and focus I brought on day one of the LAPC. So it's my goal to do the same on the day one of WPT Venetian here. And I always feel like I bring it on day twos. Like, honestly, you tell me I'm going to play day two of a poker tournament, just like sign me up. I'm just like thrilled. I'm so stoked. I'm just ready for it. So, I don't know. It's tricky after a long time in the game to bring that same like enthusiasm and energy to like day one, and it's like, okay, sit down and now fold 80% of hands. Yeah, that's what it's about. So appreciate the wishes of good luck. I did film a lot when I was on the job this week, and I wanted to cut it into a vlog and maybe release it this week, but I had such an overwhelming amount of footage that I couldn't figure out exactly how to cut it together in time, and like those were like 12-13 hour days at the esports arena, so it's not like I could just like pull up my laptop and start to figure out how to configure all this footage I was getting, and a bunch of it is like unusable because it was at a weird angle, there was like a light shooting in, or I wasn't sitting close enough to the phone. So yeah, I'll figure out how to cut that into an episode down the line, but I want to make sure that this weekend I get to play some poker, deep dive into the March Madness stuff, which is going to be crazy next week in Las Vegas. But I want to make sure we can do some basketball content while it's still relevant, while I can help people with their brackets or their futures bets for whatever in the contest. And plus, it's awesome week to be in Las Vegas. So I'm going to head over to the Wynn soon. Might see some of you guys there. Best of luck if you're playing or whatever you're gambling on this weekend. So talk later.